So here is everything that comes with the FRS BRZ oil cooler kit from Never Ending Details. Comes with the Subaru OEM oil cooler, the longer bolt you need to go ahead and put it into the block to go where the old oil filter sat. It comes with two hoses, an assortment of hose clamps, and a new oil filter to replace the ones that you're going to remove when you install the system. Here are the tools you're going to need: some screwdrivers, flathead, Phillips, some pliers. It calls for a 24mm deep socket, and then also you're going to need some sort of tool to remove your oil filter if it's on tighter than you can get off with your hand. So this is the stock FRS engine bay, and I figured I'd walk you through what we're going to do here. So this is where the oil filter is, and we're going to go ahead and remove the oil filter and install the oil cooler between the filter and the block using the longer bolt they supply, and then putting the new filter on. And the other part of the equation is hooking up the coolant lines from the filter to the engine coolant system. Some guys will tee it off into the radiator supply. I think I found a bit more of an elegant solution, which is to tie it into the throttle body coolant lines. So to get to that, we're going to have to remove a few items. We're going to have to loosen the clamps connecting the intake tube here to the air box, to the sound generating tube, pull off this breather, and undo this clamp here to the throttle body. And we're going to pull this out, and that'll give us access to run our coolant lines to the throttle body, which is currently just looped back to itself, which we'll see in a bit. So you'll see now we went ahead and removed the intake tube off of the air box, the sound tube, and we pulled this breather line off, and then pulled off the throttle body. So then you'll see down here, this tube right here, how it links down bottom up here in the throttle body, that loops coolant through the system. Some turbo cars actually utilize these in and outs to cool the turbo. This is a naturally aspirated car, so it's just looped. We're going to go ahead and utilize that loop to go ahead and provide coolant to the oil cooler. So now we've removed the stock oil filter bolt, and we're going to go ahead and install the larger one and the oil cooler. So first you're going to want to put a little bit of oil on this O-ring. That side goes down, and then we'll align it, and we'll go ahead and install the bolt and tighten it down into the slot where the stock oil filter and stock bolt went. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the actual oil cooler. I've already put some oil on the O-ring on the bottom, and I've pre-installed the shorter hose on the bent fitting, and I've also pre-installed my clamp. Now the kit comes with two hose clamps and two of the more OEM type clamps. I'm not a big fan of the OEM type clamps. I feel more confident with the more worm-driven clamps, so I went ahead and picked up a few extra of these over at Lowe's to use with the two hose clamps that come with the kit. Just make sure you get stainless ones, that way they'll last forever. So then you go ahead and take this, and then you're going to snake the line underneath the AC compressor there, if you can see, and then this will drop down, and we'll go ahead and install the extended bolt and start running the rest of the lines. So now you can see that we've installed the oil cooler and installed the extended bolt. I haven't tightened it down all the way now, so it's still a little loose, so we can clock this to make sure that the bent fitting allows you to run the line under the AC compressor. And here's the tube here. It's going to go into one of these lines once we remove this. Then the other line will come back and swing around here and come down and come up underneath the longer line and hit the throttle body coolant inlet as well. installed. Still a little loose because I'm still clocking this. So you have the bent piece going down here, straight piece going down here. I've run this line, the longer coolant line, down between, if you can see it down in there, between those two sensors, and then up under the AC condenser, just like the other line. And you can see both lines coming out here. You might have to trim one or the other depending on lengths that you're working with and how exactly you routed it. And then we're also going to zip tie the lines up over here to make sure nothing moves around, because you want to make sure you keep the lines out of the belt system. So then the next step is to come in here under the throttle body and to remove that tube off those two nipples so we can get that loop tube off and install our lines to get coolant to the oil cooler. I believe some fluid's going to spill out of here, so we're going to need some rags and then try to do this as quickly as possible, and then we can fill up any coolant we lose later. So now we have all the lines ran. Make sure you put your clamps on before you put your hoses on, otherwise it kind of defeats the purpose. So this is in here, this is not torqued down yet. Next I'm going to go ahead and torque this down to 40 foot-pounds based on the research I've done. And you can see in here, hopefully, how these lines are run into the two nozzles off of the throttle body here, so all the coolant can get to the oil cooler. So now I'm going to go ahead and torque this down, and then we can install the oil filter. Go ahead and remember to put some oil on the seal of the oil filter before you install it to make sure it tightens down nicely. You can just tighten the oil filter down by hand. Now you can see we went and torqued down that long bolt to 40 foot-pounds, and then went ahead and hand tightened down our new oil filter. Now all our lines are run, everything should be good. We're going to reinstall our intake tube, install our sound tube, install the intake on the airbox, install on the throttle body, install our breather hose, install our clamps, and we should be ready to check for leaks. So as you can see, everything has been reinstalled, and now we're going to go ahead and you're going to want to start it up, check for leaks, and also, since there's additional, not really any coolant came out when I unhooked the lines. I was surprised how little it dripped out, but now there's extra volume in the system, so the coolant system's going to need to be burped. So I would suggest go ahead and using the Grimspeed thread. I'll link to that, and they have a good procedure to make sure you get all the air out of your coolant system. When you're doing that, there's a bleeder valve to go ahead and get some air out up when it goes to the heater core. You can see that up here. You're going to want to loosen that. That's going to be how you're going to get your air out of your system, in addition to running the car and various procedures with the heat on and off. So I hope that was helpful. So this is how I do the bleeding process. I have torque running so I can check coolant temperature. We need to wait till that gets up to the thermostat opens. Sometimes revving the motor can help. And I also use one of these guys, which is a Lyle spill-free funnel. I can link to that too. It's supposed to, this is the first time I've used it, but it's supposed to put a high pressure on the system and make it easier to burp. So once you're done with this, while you're running it, you want to check for any leaks. See, I'm good, no oil leak, no coolant leaks, and I have some paper towels down here to go ahead, and so if I see any blue on those towels, I know those lower fittings are leaking. So yeah, that's pretty much it.